This is Carbattery, who is currently the rank 1 Infernus, and we're going to analyze how he turned around a completely lost game and ended up winning. We're going to try go over the highlights of this match and skip some of the filler. We're going to instantly go into the Veil, and he's just trying to pick off minions now. Haze is pretty weak early game, so Carbattery is going to be able to push her back a bit. He should be able to get a lot of harass on her just with the afterburn. To me, this seems like a decent matchup because the Infernus is going to force the Haze to kind of have to buy more sustain type items, because otherwise, with how squishy Haze is anyway, it's going to be pretty hard for her to stay in the lane for too long without getting burned. The Haze is doing a pretty good job of playing around these walls, hiding, not letting Carbattery get any burn on her. And we already see a little bit of farming going on. The early game for Infernus is probably going to be pretty slow here. Just trying to confirm souls, you know, build up a bit of a soul lead. Unfortunately, he's already a bit behind. Haze manages to get a sleep dagger on him. And the Haze is doing a really good job of pushing the Infernus back. Got a lot of damage there. That was pretty unfortunate. You'd think the Infernus would be the one harassing the Haze a lot more, but it seems like it's the other way around. The Haze is getting a lot of damage off right now. Carbattery goes with Infuser early, which is a bit of a power spike. Now, if they do get into a 1v1, the Infernus should probably be able to take out the Haze now, especially with Flame Dash as well. And the Haze is just doing a really good job of pushing this Infernus back. Now, Carbattery wants to go in and try and fight. He gets the Catalyst on her, manages to Flame Dash. Unfortunately, he got Sleep Daggered. It didn't really do too much. And wow, the Haze is just doing so well. But you can see that burn is just melting her HP. And Carbattery is just trying to elongate the fight as much as possible because the DOT is just going to slowly whittle that Haze down. And thankfully, because he did get the burn on her, the Haze did have to back off a bit, which just takes a bit of pressure off the lane for him. He's playing a little bit cautiously here. He knows how much damage the Haze can do. He just wants to get easy shots and just try and apply that burn on the Haze. He really doesn't want to take her on in like a real 1v1. And you really can't push too hard with Infernus early game, especially given how the lane is going right now. So he's just doing a really good job of farming and being really efficient with his camp timings and all the crate pickups and stuff. And he's actually deciding to engage, but that was really unfortunate. The Haze managed to get an amazing sleep dagger off, and she is so low. Unfortunately, the afterburn didn't manage to finish her off, but she will have to go back to base now. It's a pretty even lane so far. I'd say the Infernus Carbattery's done a little bit better of a job just farming around the map. Now the Wraith and Pocket have come. The Wraith manages to kill the Haze. Now we're going to watch the Infernus try and chase this Pocket down, try and secure the kill. Oh, he manages to get the stun, but the Pocket also does go down from the afterburn. A little bit of an interest. I actually just want to rewatch that quickly. And Carbattery decides to be very aggressive here, try and get that afterburn. And honestly, I really don't think he had to go in and try and melee him. I think the DOT of the afterburn would have got the Pocket here. But it was still a good trade, to be honest. It still worked out, and now they're going to push this lane as well. And you can see Carbattery's really not too interested in joining any team fights. You can kind of see, you can see on the map here that they're in a team fight, and he could really easily just, I mean, zip line over to here and help out with this team fight, add to the numbers. But he's not going to do any of that. He's just going to keep farming. He knows that he's probably not going to be too helpful in any team fights right now. He just wants to keep farming, keep getting these lanes. And if he did go and join that team fight, he probably would have missed most of the action anyway. You can see they're all backing off now. So yeah, he definitely made the right call. Just continue to farm, try and get your power spike, try and get as much farming done before about 15 minutes, and then he should have enough souls to start actually helping out in team fights. And you can see really just great time management by him. He stops farming the and really good time management by him. He stops farming the Sinner's Sacrifice to go and get those minions on the lane, making sure he doesn't miss out on any extra souls. And you can just really see he's very uninterested in getting into any fights. He just wants to stay in around these middle lanes, pick up as many souls as he can, try and farm crates, try and farm camps. He notices these minions are getting a little bit too far up. He wants to push them back. Also helps with getting souls, obviously. And on his map, you can see, he can't see that there's a lash here, but if we look at the map, there is, and he notices him now. He's going to try and cut the lash off, but the lash is long gone. He's going to try and get some burn on that. Ooh, this is tough. He might be dead here. Yeah. He got caught a little bit too far up. A bit unfortunate. Definitely not ideal because obviously the longer you're dead, the less time you have to farm. Now that he has toxic bullets, he has more than enough power to take out these tier 3 camps. And yeah, this is honestly a pretty tough spot. All of the lanes have been kind of cleared. There's not much for him to do. All he can really do is just go around farming the map. But even then, you know, in an Eternus 6 lobby, like, these farms go... These camps are going very quickly, you know. Everyone's very efficient. Everyone knows the timings. They go very quickly. Now, I imagine he's going to try and make his way over to this tier 3 camp as well. He's probably actually going to... It might have been tempting to go and help out on this lane here to try and help the walker. But instead, he actually rotates the other way. He knows he's not going to be able to push these guys back. There was 4 of them. And he also knows they're probably not going to keep pushing this lane. So he might as well just go over to the other side of the map where he knows basically no one is. I mean, you see this lone haze, but basically no one is on this side of the map except this haze. So he's just free to kind of farm the lanes, farm this tier 3 camp, just do whatever he likes, really. He's just safe. And he seems to be saving up. I imagine he's saving up for Ricochet. And yeah, we see him by Ricochet now. And yeah, again, this is a pretty tough spot. I mean, there are no real lanes that he can farm. I mean, these lanes up here, these middle lanes are pushed pretty far up. I mean, this one's pushed the walker. This one's all right that he's on now. This is pretty good. But apart from that, it's a little bit tough. I mean, and now he's going to make a push for this walker. If he can get this would definitely be huge. He obviously notices that a lot of their team have committed to this, to the right side of the map. So he can just kind of come in here and hopefully take this walker. Try and punish their overcommit. Managed to get some huge damage on that pocket. Haze pops the ult, but fortunately it doesn't. They managed to move out of the way and it doesn't do too much damage. He couldn't get the Mirage with his ult, but he does manage to finish him off. And that was honestly really well played. Really good team fight for them. They just came in one by one and the Infernus and Paradox just took them out, you know. So you can see that the enemy team they are really playing together, which is good that they're all together. But unfortunately, it seems like they're overcommitting to lanes and they're sort of allowing lanes to be lost freely. And you can see Car Battery's team, I would say, is definitely ahead now. You know, I mean, they still have a Guardian up, which is just crazy. I mean, I imagine if you're the Sapphire team, you're probably going to push that soon. There's really not much the Vindicta can do right now. So she's definitely going to get pushed back. And now you can see his teammates are rotating in. And this Vindicta is definitely going down, yeah. Now that we've got Inhibitor as well, Car Battery definitely feels a lot more confident going into team fights. And we're going to see here, it's just absolutely insane. 7 pops his ult, but it just leaves him as a standing target, easy target. Manages to get the Mirage with his ult this time. And down they go. Really successful team fight there. So you can see Sapphire definitely think that they have the advantage here. They don't know that the Abrams is coming to help as well. They're really pushing hard. The 7 manages to stun the Yamato. Pocket kind of pops his ult, but it's kind of in a bit of a bad position. No one's really there to get affected by it. Infernus is going to now come behind and gank the 7 and Pocket. Again, that was an unfortunate ult by the 7. Not really amazing. And yeah, they really just get picked off one by one. You know, you got these 2 following the lash, and then Carbatchy's going to manage to pick him up. Again, they just played that team fight a lot better. They stuck together. I think their target focus was just a lot better. Whereas the enemy they were a bit more scattered. They weren't focusing. They weren't really together, kind of taking 2v1s. Obviously, that was a big team fight, but it was really kind of a 2v2 and then a 2v1 going on at the same time, right? It was almost like 2 different fights happening at the same time. And now they're going to get mid-boss off of this. Nice little parry by the Yamato, just in case anyone tries to nick it. And Car Battery's bought Metal Skin as well, just to deal with the haze. If the haze does manage to be a problem, or even if she ults, it could save his life. So, and he's not playing too aggressive here. You'd think with the Inhibitor, you'd think with Rejuve buff, you play super aggressive and you try and get into the first team fight possible, but they're actually playing quite smart. Haze pops his ult, unfortunately. It doesn't really do too much. And yeah, she's definitely going to go down here. Big overcommit by the Haze. Probably didn't realize that the Infernus was rotating, but it's going to cost their team a lot. You see, it would have been very easy to just pick a lane and then just push down it, which is what you see at a lot of lower MMR play. You see that a lot at lower ranks. Once they get the Rejuve buff, they just pick a lane and then push it, but that's really not what you want to do. You kind of want to, if you just do that, then there's a big chance you could just lose a team fight, and then, I mean, you've just lost your advantage. And you can see there's a team fight going on the right lane. Lady Geist is taking the soul urn as well. And I don't know if this is a great team fight to take. We see the Infernus is now going to rotate on. They managed to get the soul urn, and now they're going to start to push. That's it. They can see Sapphire's a little bit scattered. Probably a really great play to actually get the soul urn, because it forces people to go and kind of contest it, and now their team is a lot more scattered. Like right now it's a 5v5, but you can see, I mean, the 7 is the only one on this lane, and you've got 4 people pushing this lane. You got the Wraith here kind of roaming. You can see just with the way he's positioned, he definitely doesn't want to be on the front lines. He, with, you know, Carbatchery's definitely, he's not built any sort of major lifesteal other than the Infuser. So he's trying to kind of stay on the back side, get some burn off, stay behind. Obviously, he does have a lot of health. He manages to get the Vindicta with the burn. And you can see the burn is just doing so much damage. He's going to go in with the ult now. Unfortunately, it's not going to get too many people. He is going to manage to get some burn on the Mirage, though, as well as the 7, actually. And he's going to force them to back off. But you can see, without any lifesteal items, he doesn't have Leech, he doesn't have Spirit lifesteal or anything. So his sustain is definitely a lot lower than it would have been if he did have some sort of lifesteal item. I guess that's just not the way that Carbatchery is playing Infernus. You know, I think, I guess, from his perspective, a lot of these lifesteal items aren't going to do too much early game, because really, if, you know, I mean, Carbatchery is the best Infernus player in the world, so he's very rarely going to be caught out of position, and these lifesteal items are going to give you, they are going to help a lot, especially if you do get caught out of position. They can give you a lot of sustain, but really, the way we're seeing Carbatchery play Infernus here is he's kind of playing on the back lines. He's just trying to get his burn, his toxic bullets, really just trying to get all of those effects on the enemy and just kind of trying to stay out of the front lines. Obviously, he does go in from time to time with his flame dash and tries to get his ult off, but it's much more common to see him kind of on the back foot, just trying to get his burn off. We're going to see a bit of an engagement here. He manages to get the catalyst off on the Mirage, and he's going to chase him down now. Inhibitors really slowing him down a lot. Fortunately, there's just not much the Mirage can do there. I mean, he's taken loads of damage from that 7 ball. And the Ricochet is really allowing him to get his burn off a lot more consistently, because he only has to hit one enemy for it to apply on basically all of them. You can see the Vindicta is definitely a very dangerous threat right now with her ult, especially with how low Infernus is. He's going to have to be a little bit careful here. And unfortunately, he does get caught out there. I guess that's the only thing with the way Carbatchery is building Infernus. It's like, you really can't take those types of fights. Like, I mean, obviously, it's obvious in hindsight, but he definitely should have rotated back. And now, as you can see, they are going to get mid-boss off of this. And now Carbatchery's team is definitely going to have to play a little bit more defensively just to wait out the Rejuve buff. I doubt we're going to see them push much here. They're probably just going to push out these lanes and then go back to base. Now we're going to see him pick up Crippling Headshot, which actually comes with Bullet Lifesteal and Spirit Lifesteal. So just a really good item on Infernus. He's getting very lower, and he's probably going to be caught out and die here. Oh, he's actually going to manage to get the 7 there. You see, without the lifesteal from Crippling Headshot, he was just dead there. He also popped Infuser as well, which probably saved him. And now he's just going to come out of that fight. That was definitely a very risky fight for their team to take there, because if they lose that, then, you know, they just push down this yellow lane here and probably get a lot of damage off. We're going to see him pick up Titanic Magazine as well, which is just going to allow him to get even more damage off. Also improved Spirit Armor. What does he get rid of for that? Probably one of his, like, earlier items. Yeah, we see him pick up improved Spirit Armor. I imagine he's probably getting a little bit worried about the 7, who's going to start to become very powerful very soon. Now there's a massive team fight going, and Carbatchery's going to rotate over, try and help out. He's going to come a little bit late, though. And now, I don't think this is a great position for him to be in right now. Yeah, he's going to get ganked, and yeah, that's very unfortunate. Lash is going to, yeah, that was quite unfortunate for him. Let's just go to just his map. So on his map, he can see there are quite a few of them. But yeah, unfortunately, he just rotates a little bit too slowly. But I can see from his perspective why he would want to stay on this lane and try and protect this this Guardian. Because it is a big advantage for them. But yeah, he's definitely going to get caught out here. And that is very rough. And they are going to manage to get that Guardian. And now they're going to manage to get this Walker as well, which is a little bit unfortunate. They've definitely managed to turn this game around. They're definitely winning now. Carbachi's team is definitely losing. Again, he's going to come in a little bit late to this team fight, but still he's going to manage to get some burn on the enemy. Hopefully force them to retreat. Oh, that was unfortunate. The Vindicta managed to use that 2 and escape. She uses Ethereal Shift as well, and he could actually be dead here. He's going to disengage. And they're actually going to manage to get mid-boss. I imagine there's a little loss of damage there. And they're going to manage to get another rejuve buff. This is actually really rough for Carbachi's team here. They're definitely going to have to play defensive now. There's no way they're going to try and push for a team fight. Not that they can. I mean, half their team is dead, but all their team is dead. But you can see, like, the enemy team aren't really being too aggressive here. They're kind of just waiting, farming, letting Carbachi's team sort of push out. The Haze is caught very far up. He manages to save himself with Metal Skin. If he didn't pop the Metal Skin there, he was 100% dead. I mean, you see how much damage the Haze did after it wore off. They are going to manage to get the Mirage as well. The Lash is just going to be absolutely destroyed as well. And you can see the Lash is not happy with the Paradox. Which, fair enough, I'm pretty sure the Paradox ulted on him and prevented him from escaping. And honestly, winning that team fight was probably very important to the game, because they've managed to now sort of bring it a little bit back. Obviously, they still have to wait for the rejuve buff to end, but they brought it back. They brought it back a bit. And you can see now that he's finally bought Leech, and it's really paying off here for him. Without it, he's definitely dead here. Probably gonna flame dash, try and flame dash out of it. Somehow he is still alive. Leech coming in clutch. And he's actually going to manage to take out the Mirage there. The Mirage must be so annoyed with that. I don't know how the Infernus, how Carbachi survived that. A little bit of a team fight going on here. Mirage and Hazer, this honestly looks a little bit deceiving, because it looks like a 4v2, but the Mirage and Haze do actually come in and manage to help pretty quickly. Haze getting insane damage, and he's going to go down. Somehow he went down to the Lash, actually. I see, okay. The Lash jumps down and manages to get him. Yeah. So that was definitely an unfortunate team fight there. But at this point in the game, you can just see Carbachi has just farmed so efficiently, so effectively. He has 58k souls at 38 minutes. And honestly, this game hasn't been amazing to farm in. A lot of the lanes have been pushed. A lot of the map was farmed. But somehow he's still managing to be the most farmed player in the lobby. They're going to get Lash ulted here. But they are going to manage to make it out safe. Infernus is actually just going to back off here. They're really getting pushed hard here, so it's definitely the right choice. He just wants to keep that burn on the enemies for as long as possible. And the Leech coming in clutch there with the afterburn. It's just such a dirty combo. Managing to give him a lot of sustain. Again, this is looking very rough for Carbachi's team. At this point, you really start to think like, wow, do they have much chance of winning this game? The Lady Geist has pointed out the Mirage, who's kind of on his own here. He does manage to get away. And now he's just kind of waiting, seeing if he can gank anyone. Really, their only hope is to kind of catch someone out on their own. It looks like the 7's going to get caught out here. The Lash is just waiting on this roof. Kind of just let the 7 die. I mean, not the worst idea. Probably would have died if he tried to help anyway. And now they're going to try and contest mid-boss. They might just be trying to bait it, though, for the enemy team. It would be a 6v5, so it would be a good time to take a team fight. Especially with the 7 out, who's probably one of their strongest people at this point. He's going to try and target the Haze. Haze pops the ult. He's got Metal Skin, though, so he's going to be okay. The Mirage and Infernus kind of just looking at each other for a moment. He pops his ult. Doesn't really get too much done with it, though. He's actually going to manage to kill the Mirage with the afterburn. Pocket's going to ethereal shift, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he was a sitting duck there. He has got a soul rebuff, though, but he's going to die again, which is just going to give more souls to the enemy team. I mean, I'm sure they're not unhappy about that. Lash is now going to ult, and it looks like he cancelled it, which probably is smart. And you can see that was definitely a very nice team fight. And now the Infernus is at 71k souls, and now they're going to go back and do mid-boss as well. Infernus has got his ult back as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was going to pop it. He does pop the ult, and they do manage to get the, they do manage to get it. And now they're just pushing super hard. I mean, this is pretty much like this is pretty much going to be their final play of the game. If they lose this push, you know, they just lose the game. See, the Haze trying his best to defend with the ult there. Now the Infernus is going to come in, do loads of DOT. He knows that there's no ults that they can really use on him, and they do manage to get it. Insane game, insane comeback as well. And that's why you really can't ever put your foot off the gas in deadlock, because, you know, the enemy team can just easily come back like that, and just an insane game by Car Battery.